Does Dwayne Johnson deserve, like, the nomination for Best Actor in the Oscars? What is up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. This is OCD Movie Reviews. My name is Owen the Brinkcat, and today I'm going to review the latest sports biographical drama, and that film is The Smashing Machine. This movie is directed by one of the Safdie brothers, Benny Safdie, who is one of the directors of Uncut Gems, my favorite A24 film of all time, and this movie stars Dwayne Johnson and Emily Blunt. This film is a true story of MMA fighter Mark Kerr, who reaches the peak of his career, but faces personal hardships along the way after he has lost a fight. So, of course, I was anticipating for this film for two reasons. One of the cases, one of the Safdie brothers is directing this film, who is Benny Safdie, who is one of the directors of my favorite A24 film of all time, Uncut Gems, as well as Good Time. Very fantastic A24 films, so I was interested to see this sports biopic. I never heard about Mark Kerr, and I like seeing sports biopics, or biopics in general, about people I never even heard of. I'm really interested to see Mark Kerr's story, but also Dwayne Johnson, tackling on a serious role that could possibly give him an Oscar contender. That's an interesting term, because of course we've seen Dwayne Johnson a lot in action movies, so it's really interesting to see him kind of trying to be a great actor at this point. Not to say he's a great actor in action movies, I think he is a great actor, but of course trying to get more into a serious stage in acting, and I thought it's a very interesting turn for Dwayne Johnson, and I feel like this movie could be that possibility. The trailers really did impress me. It really made me interested to see how Dwayne Johnson's going to perform as this character. So of course I was very interested in this film going in. Despite from all the reviews this movie's been getting, it has got mixed reviews. Some people say Dwayne Johnson deserves an Oscar for this movie. Some people say it's great. It's got a 15-minute standing ovation in the festivals. But some people also didn't like the film either. So the film is definitely mixed by everybody, but where do I stand from The Smashing Machine? Unfortunately, I might have to stand from the negative side. Not to say this film is bad at all, or terrible. It's definitely not a terrible film, but it's a pretty disappointing film, and I feel like this film has more negatives when it comes to the positives of the film. Now, I'm going to say this with the positives. Dwayne Johnson is definitely good in this film. This is definitely one of his better performances from acting-wise that I have seen him in such a long time. There are times in this film where I can see the potential in Dwayne Johnson in the film. There are times where he is good in the film. There are a couple of times where I feel like some of his emotional states could have been a bit better, but you know what? Since it's his first film being in this dramatic state, I can see a little bit of potential in him, especially throughout this film. I think he is really good in this film, but I would say the person who is great in this film is Emily Blunt, who plays his wife in the film. I thought she is incredible in this film. There are times in this film where her character goes in ways that you're not expecting, and her emotional rage and state in this film, she really pulls it off, and I think Emily Blunt does a really good job in the film. Now, I'm going to say this. Does Dwayne Johnson deserve, the nomination for Best Actor in the Oscars? I wouldn't say so. I wouldn't say it's a performance that blew my mind or anything, but I would say it's a very good performance by Dwayne Johnson. But if Emily Blunt get nominated for Best Supporting Actress, I would understand, because I thought she does a really good job in the film. She definitely stole this movie than all the other actors in this film. And I gotta say, I like the way this movie was filmed. It's kind of filmed as some sort of a home video documentary style. I like the way this movie looks. It looks kind of different. It looks kind of original, outstanding from most A24 films I've seen. It makes the film at least feel very unique when it comes to the cinematography of this film, and there are some good moments in this film, I'm not going to lie. There are some moments that I did not expect where the characters are going to go. I'll give this movie that. But let's get into my negatives, because man, I wanted this film to be so much better than it actually is, especially from my anticipation. This film was on my number 5 of my anticipated films for the rest of the year, and I wish it exceeded its potential, but unfortunately I feel like the film has a bit of the wrong writers here, and the way this film was edited, I feel like it could have been so much better with that as well. I feel like my biggest problem that I have with The Smashing Machine is that this film is more about moments in Mark Kerr's life without anything getting even fleshed out. There is nothing too fleshed out of each moment of this film. It's just moments after moments after moments in Mark Kerr's life, and I just felt like the moments could have been a bit more fleshed out and could have been much more explored than just saying, that's the moment that happened to him. This happened to him. this happened to him, because it doesn't really have a storyline. It's just more of just random moments in Mark Kerr's life. And some of the moments I was invested watching. But there are some moments where I'm like, I wish that could have been so much more explored to make me care for these characters, because there are times in this movie that I was feeling like, I don't know if I want to care about these characters because they're just very unlikable because of the way the film was presented. And there's even moments in the Smashing Machine where I'm just like, okay, that needs to be more explored because that just came out of nowhere. Like, to me, one example, there is a moment where Emily Blunt was fighting with Dwayne Johnson, arguing with him, she smashed the glass and just leaves him. And then, like, I would say 20 minutes after, she just came out of nowhere, like, literally just coming saying, I love you and stuff. And I felt like, isn't there something missing here? There's no, like, resolution of apologizing for an argument. Like, that's what this film is. It's just moments after moments without anything all that fleshed out. And I'm not going to lie, there are some moments, like I said, with Dwayne Johnson, there are times where I feel like his acting could have been a lot stronger, especially when he was crying in his emotional state. I thought that is terrible in this film. Like, there's a moment where he is crying, and I'm not going to lie, I was almost pissing myself laughing. That's when I was feeling like I felt like I can see what Dwayne Johnson's trying to do. And honestly, for the most part, I thought he is good in this film. But I wouldn't say this film is the performance that needs to get him that Best Actor treatment. If he got nominated for Best Actor, I probably would say, I wouldn't say he deserves it all that much. Not to say he was bad in this movie. He's not bad in this movie at all. I always love Dwayne Johnson. I love Dwayne Johnson ever since he does his action movies. He always has that likable screen presence, and there's potential, especially in this film. There's potential for Dwayne Johnson to be great in the film. And like I said, the prosthetics is great. His shape is fantastic. This is probably the most ripped I've ever seen Dwayne Johnson in. And most of his acting is good, but with emotional stakes, I feel like he could have done a much better job with it. But apparently he's going to be in a new film with Martin Scorsese, which is very interesting. So I want to see how Martin Scorsese will direct Dwayne Johnson, and it might make him good. I can see potential in Dwayne Johnson. But I wouldn't say this film is like, oh, he needs to win Best Actor. I find that very overrated about this film. I wouldn't say this is a performance that I would say that needs to win, or that needs to get nominated. I think it's definitely one of Dwayne Johnson's better performances in his career, but I wouldn't say it's a performance where I'm like, this blew my mind. But I can see potential, and it's starting to turn here. But like I said, the biggest problem with the Smashing Machine is that this film just goes from moment after moment after moment without anything that is really fleshed out. And that's very disappointing. I was expecting a little bit more with the Smashing Machine, but unfortunately the film just turns out as a fine biopic that could have been so much more fleshed out. Especially when it comes to the storyline, because there's definitely something there. There's definitely something there where I'm like, okay, this could be a storyline that could be told, especially if it's a true story. But like I said, it just could have been much more fleshed out to make me care for what is going on, because all I'm seeing is just moments after moments after moments. Overall, guys, the Smashing Machine could have been so much better, in my opinion, than it actually is. I would say this Dwayne Johnson is great in this film. I think his performance is really well done. Not like contending for Best Actor or anything, but I think he does a good job. But Emily Blunt really stole this movie. I thought she was fantastic in the film. The rest of the acting is great overall. And I would say the look of this film, the documentary style feel to it, I love that feel to it. Benny Safdie does a good job directing the movie, but unfortunately the story of the film is where the flaws comes down. I feel like the story could have been more fleshed out, but it's just more of just moment after moment after moment without any resolution and anything that is really fleshed out. I don't think the film is terrible. I don't think it's bad at all. But definitely this could be the contender of the disappointing film of the year, because I wanted more from this Smashing Machine. I want this film to be great. I wanted to love this film, and I wanted to love Dwayne Johnson's performance to get that contender. I wouldn't say this film deserved much praise that a lot of people deserve. I could say this film is a little bit overrated from some people's perspective. Not to say it's a bad movie. It's not a terrible movie. It's just fine. I was expecting a bit more from it though. But definitely go see this film if you're curious about Dwayne Johnson's performance and the rest of the performances, and get your own opinion out of it. But in my opinion, I was disappointed with the Smashing Machine. And I gotta say, hopefully Josh Safdie does a good job with Mario Supreme, because I'm sorry, Benny Safdie, I just feel like he didn't do too much of a great job here. I'm gonna say for the Smashing Machine, I'm going to give this movie a meh rating.
I mean, it's alright, like...
So guys, that is my review for the Smashing Machine. Let me know what you think of this film in the comments below. Do you like this film, hate this film, or you thought it's okay? And do you think Dwayne Johnson deserves to win Best Actor in the Oscars or even get nominated? Let me know that also in the comments below. Make sure you guys follow me on social media links down below. Keep contact with me, and make sure you guys subscribe to my channel. Notify for my latest movie reviews and other movie related content. Thank you guys so much for watching, and have a nice day.